You know what's weird about the beginning of Red Dead Online? Instead of attracting players, game actually immediately disappoints them in some cases or promises something that will never came true, which will lead to a future disappointment. I will give you examples, a lot of examples, because recently I decided to start with a new character, and during tutorial and low levels I was really surprised by how often Rockstar is doing something that will probably make beginner disappointed and maybe even will make this new player to stop playing Red Dead Online at all. First of all, at the very beginning we are being introduced into the main story of Red Dead Online. Jessica Leclerc tells us about people who killed her husband, and here you go.
Mrs. Grace Lansing, his wife, society patroness, lover of the arts, crook, and my former best friend.
Spoiler, we will never see this woman, we will never help Jessica Leclerc to get her revenge fully. It's just not in the game, story is unfinished, it's one of the moments that in the future will lead to disappointment. But it's not really important, especially for Rockstar, because most players will never find out that story is unfinished. They will quit Red Dead Online much sooner. And it will happen because of more important reasons that we will talk about right now. So very first mission of the tutorial we will have to go and fight bandits, and here I'm not even mentioning that most default settings in the game are bad. It really looked like Rockstar with these default settings wants to make beginners' life harder. For example, there is absolutely no reason to have lock-on mode on normal. If someone is playing with a controller and using auto-aim, wide will be much better, and if someone is playing on a PC with mouse and a keyboard, he's not even using auto-aim. But you know what, if such person is not gonna go to settings and controller settings, even if such person don't even have controller anyway, if this default setting is not gonna be changed, this person is not gonna be receiving 20 experience points per each kill, and it will make leveling up much slower, because 20 experience points per each kill is a big difference, and please tell me that it was not made on purpose as an attempt to make PC players buy gold bars more often. Anyway, most other default settings are not good as well, especially hold to reel fishing. I mean, you definitely should tune it on to make fishing less painful. But the biggest disappointment waits for a player at the end of this mission, because we are finding a treasure, and look what's inside: gold wedding ring, earrings, necklace, some ammo and 5 gold nuggets. Pretty soon player will find out that it requires to pay at least 15 gold bars to purchase one roll. So it's not really looks like a treasure, it looks like a joke, but maybe all these jewelries will cost something. Oh no, advance another disappointment will be waiting for such player, because these jewelries cost pretty much nothing, especially considering prices in a catalog. And yes, usually there are much more money and gold in the treasure chests. But the problem is, next treasure map player will receive only on level 10, and according to data that I have, around half of the players who complete tutorial in Red Dead Online are not even reaching level 10. They are quitting before that point. And now you see why. And I mean, it was not even that hard to put something valuable in this first treasure chest, just not to scare away beginners. But because of greed or laziness or I don't know why, Rockstar decided not to do it. And by the way, it's not only an example of how players at the beginning will be earning pathetically low amount of money and gold comparing to prices in catalog. We're gonna talk about this later, but now let's move to the second and the last actually mission of the tutorial, which I'm pretty sure most Red Dead Online players remember and feel at least disappointed about it. Because at the end of this mission we are delivering stolen horse, and such cutscene happens.
Now listen to me for a second. Any other decent horses you find, we'll buy them, just as soon as we are set up, okay? Nice meeting you.
And I'm pretty sure that most players were excited about this, because it basically looks like in the future we will be able to steal horses, maybe even wagons, and sell them to these brothers. It will be a cool mechanic, because there are a lot of wild horses in Red Dead Online, there is a mechanic to tame them, and the most importantly, a lot of players just love horses, so there should be an activity related to horses in this game. But guess what? No. It's been almost 4 years now and this dude haven't managed to set up. During this time we received a lot of different content in Red Dead Online, including mechanic in which you sedating animals. But until this day it's impossible to steal and sell horses, something that game literally promises you in a very second mission. Something that should be there, like it's a no-brainer, it's in Red Dead Redemption 2, and it's definitely something that a lot of players want to see, unlike sedating animals and Capitale. And I repeat, all the mechanics required to make such activity are already in Red Dead Online. I mean, you can even steal horse in one of the Telegram missions. So it makes no sense why this dude is not buying stolen horses from us. And by the way, speaking about horses, at the very beginning your horse will be running out of stamina all the time. It will be a complete pain to ride for more than few minutes. And I'm pretty sure that most beginners will decide that it's because they have a cheap horse and they need more expensive horse and maybe even buy gold bars. Or which is even more likely, will just quit the game because by this moment they will have a feeling that Rockstar is pushing them to make microtransactions. But in reality your horse will be running out of stamina not because it's cheap, but because it has bonding level and because it has no stirrups. Yes, with bonding level 4 and the cheapest stirrups you will not be running out of stamina so often. And later when you will purchase more expensive saddle and some expensive stirrups, you will be fine absolutely with any horse. Because difference in speed between cheap and expensive horse is insignificant, maximum few percent. But anyway, the biggest and for many players final disappointment waits right after end of tutorial. Because for your first missions you will be earning pathetic amount of money. For example, let's say you will decide to make a stranger mission. Typically you're gonna earn something like $10 for it. And usually 0.08 or 0.16 gold bars. And it's not even that bad, because for some activities you will earn nothing. For example, take a look how much I earned for defending travelers from bandits. 0 gold bars. It's because I've completed this activity in less than 3 minutes. And yes, amount of gold, money and experience that you earn in pretty much every single activity in Red Dead Online is based on a time that you've spent on this mission, and if you spend in less than 3 minutes you're not receiving gold at all and receiving very little amount of dollars. And the problem is, game is not even telling you about it. Actually the problem is that it's absolutely stupid mechanic, but still, new players will see that they're earning $10 per mission, will make simple calculation and will find out that they have to complete 20 such missions at least to purchase not even the most expensive weapon, for example Lancaster repeater. I'm pretty sure at this point a lot of players are leaving Red Dead Online forever. And the weird thing is, it's actually relatively easy to farm money and gold in Red Dead Online even at the beginning if you know how, but the game not really tells you about them. And even more, let's say some player will hear somewhere that blood money missions are more profitable for beginners, which is true, they pay much more than stranger missions. But even in this case, when such player will visit blood money mission giver for the first time, he will have to complete stranger mission, because when you visit such NPC for the first time, game shows you cutscene and then immediately stranger mission begins. So such player will earn pretty much nothing again and probably will be disappointed. Anyway, in my opinion, at the beginning of Red Dead Online there are a lot of at least questionable game design decisions. I'm not quite sure if Rockstar did it because of greed or for some other reason. Let me know in the comments what do you think about this. But if you are a beginner, I suggest you to watch my step-by-step guide for Red Dead Online that now you see on your screen, and then starting in Red Dead Online will be really easy for you. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay safe, stay healthy, goodbye.